I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, a great millstone that rule well. Salutations to all the Akim pushing his word with sincerity and truth. Speckled birds, women, and children that's listening and learning. I want to say Shalom, Shalom. I want to say Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, the water Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Salutations to all the Akim out here pushing this word with sincerity and truth. Again, I want to say Shalom. Coming at you again, my name is Shapiro. Coming at you again today with another lesson. And this lesson on the title is, colors in the Bible, man. Colors all through the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Just because I said, just because I say color in the Bible, that don't mean that you're not an Israelite because you don't have color. So the thing is, the prophets that was in the scriptures, they were so-called black men. So-called black men. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got Israelites that scattered abroad, right? That they may not look melanated, but they are Israelites. They may not look like an Israelite. They might not have dark skin. You know what I'm saying? But they are Israelites. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say that, because you got people that's pushing doctrines that Israelites are all so-called black folks. We don't teach that. You know what I'm saying? It's the so-called Negroes, Spanish, and Native Americans. We come in different shades of brown. Very dark brown, very light brown. You know what I'm saying? We come through all shades. You know what I'm saying? 50 shades of brown. So, yeah, so we don't teach that. So the thing is, to prove that color is in the Bible, and the prophets that was in the scripture were so-called black men. They were not so-called white people. They were so-called black people, right? We're going to get some scriptures on that, validating that what we're saying is true. Well, willing, this is edifying. Now we're going to start at Revelations 1. And actually 1 and 9, really. Then we go down to 13. And the reason why I do that is to prove that John the Revelator was the Apostle John, who was on the island of Patmos when he had the vision of the Messiah, right? And the island of Patmos is a place where prisoners were exiled to this, or were sent to. That's where the island of Patmos is. Criminals go there during that time, right? And pretty much John the Revelator, Apostle John, he was sent there. He was exiled to the island of Patmos, right? This is Revelation 1 and 9. It says, I, John, Apostle John, right, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and in patience of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, was in the isles, that meaning the island that is called Patmos, for the word of the Most High and for the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So you see, he was sent to the island of Patmos. You know, so when he was on the island of Patmos, right, this is what he saw. He had a vision. And this is what he saw. Revelations 1 and 13. He said, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, like unto the Son of Man, he was talking about who the Messiah is. So he's giving you a description of what he what he seen, what the Messiah had on, you know what I'm saying, what was around his belt, you know what I'm saying, the color of his skin and the texture of his hair. And the color of his hair and the color of his eyes. He's giving you a description in Revelation 13 of how he saw the appearance of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Revelation 1:13 says, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot. So he had a garment that went all the way down to the foot, right? So that's what the Messiah's of pearls was, right? It's saying, gird about the paps with a golden girdle. And the golden girdle is a belt that goes around your waist, right? That's what he saw. Verse 14, and his head and his hairs were white like wool. So the Messiah had white, woolly hair, right? So you so-called Negro man, their hair is white and woolly, right? So that's what he saw, right? It says, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. His eyes were like a flame of fire, right? So the Messiah had red eyes, right? He drunk a lot of wine. You know what I'm saying? So he's giving you a description of the Messiah. So the Messiah, right, what he looked like. So the Messiah was so-called black man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the point. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, like Brass is like a light golden color. It's like a almost like a brown color. But if you put it in a furnace and you burn it, it gets very dark. You know what I'm saying? It says, if they burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So pretty much giving you a description of the Messiah in the Bible. It's pretty much letting you know that the Messiah was a so-called black man. You know, the Messiah, he was a so-called black man. I'm saying it again, the Messiah was a so-called black man. So colors in the Bible, because it gave you the description of the Messiah, right? So the Messiah is a so-called black man, and color is mentioned in the scriptures, right? It's Jeremiah 14 and 14:2. It says, now Judah's going to give you a description, right, of his color. He's going to tell you what color he is, right? It said, Judah mourning, and the gates thereof languish. They are what? Black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. They are black unto the ground. See that? So the prophets were so-called black men, dark-skinned men with color. It said, Judah mourning, the gates thereof language. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. See, these men were melanated, colored people. The Israelites were colored people. Plain and simple. There's no way around it. So they was so-called black men. I'm going to read verse 1. It said the word of the Lord came. It said the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. Jeremiah concerning the dark. It said, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. So this is what the Lord spoke to Jeremiah, right? So these men were so-called melanated men. They were all melanated men. All the Israelite prophets were melanated men. You know what I'm saying? Different shades, melanated men. So color is in the Bible. This is this is Song of Solomon 1:5. It says, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. They were what? They were black, melanated people, man. Black people, dark-skinned people, man. Solomon, melanated. Judah, melanated. Jeremiah, melanated. All these prophets were melanated men, man. Every last one of them. The prophets were melanated. There you go. Color is all through this book, man. You might not want to believe it, but that's on you. But, hey, here it is, right before your eyes, man. The scriptures tell you these things, man. This is... So Daniel the prophet, he even saw the Messiah. He also going to prove that the so-called Israelites were melanated, man. Color in the Bible. It's Daniel 10:5. It says, and he had a vision. Nobody else saw that vision but Daniel. It says, Daniel 10:5, it said, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine gold of Euphrates. Verse 6, his body also was like the burial, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes were the lamps of fire, talking about the Messiah, right? And it says, and his arms and his feet like in his color, feet like in color of polished brass. Brass is like a light golden color, but if you burn it, it gets very, very dark. So Messiah was a melanated man. He was a so-called dark-skinned black man. And it said, in the voice of his word, like the voice of a multitude. It says, verse 7, I, Daniel alone saw the vision of the men that were with me, saw not the vision, but a great quickening fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Right? So you see that? Nobody else saw that vision but Daniel the prophet. And Daniel the prophet, he saw the Messiah. And the Messiah what? Is a so-called black man. This Messiah is so-called black man. Right? This is Acts 13:1. It says, now there were in the church that were at Antioch, and it was at Antioch, right? It says certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon was called Niger, and that word Niger it goes into the word what's Kedar in the Hebrew, right, which means dark. You know what I'm saying? It means dark skin. That's it, just dark. It says Nocius of Cyrene and Minian, which had been brought up with Herod, the Tetrarch, and Saul, right? So there you go. So that word called Niger, which that word Niger goes into the Hebrew, the word Kedar, right? The word for black in Hebrew is Kedar. You know what I'm saying? Which Niger means dark, means black, dark skin. So they were called Niger, which was dark, black, dark skin. Man, so color is literally in this book, man. It's really in the Bible, man. This is Job 30 and 30. It says, my skin is black up on me, and my bones are burned with heat. And this is Job. So Job was even telling you, man, we so-called black men, we so-called dark-skinned men. He said, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. All the prophets was melanated men, man. But just because I'm saying melanated, that don't mean that you see people that don't look melanated. Don't mean that that's not an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? We don't teach that here. You know what I'm saying? Because Israelites going to look like every shape of creed of so-called human beings on this place. They're going to look like Arabs. They're going to look like the white man. They're going to look like East Indians. They're going to look like everybody. Because Moses' son Gershom was an Israelite, right? But his mom was an Ephraimite, something like that. But with that, I'm gonna give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Pakadash, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.